WMMA scene now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you tonight with a fight preview. So we're going to Seoul, South Korea for Double GFC number 3, 110-pound catchweight. Ji-Yeon taking on Mika Arai of Japan. Saw being the hometown girl. Before we get into breaking down each of these fighters, let's see how they match up statistically. Arai is the older fighter, 26 to Saw's 19. Saw actually has more fights, though, 7-4 to Arai's 4-1. Saw is 1 inch or 3 centimeters taller, 5 feet 4 inches, 163 centimeters, to Arai's 5 foot 3 inches, 160 centimeters. I don't have a reach available for Arai, but Saw's is listed at 65 inches, 165 centimeters. So that's how both of these fighters stack up. Let's look at them individually. Let's start with the hometown fighter, Ji-Yeon. Saw's strengths. So she has some nice pop in her punches. If she can get her jab going and get her cross going, they hurt fighters. She finished her last fight in the 3rd round with punches, which shows you that even in the 3rd round, she still had some nice pop in them. And she has gotten some more experienced fighters than her backing up with those punches. She also has some nice ground and pound. If she can get her opponent down, she starts pounding on him, and she usually uses her ground and pound to get to the submission. So she's able to take that power in her hands, that pop, and also use it on the ground. And then finally, she's offensively well-rounded. She has wins by standing. She has wins by TKO on the ground. She has wins by submission. So offensively, she can win a fight just about anywhere. Now, one weakness I've seen with Saw, and you can see it if you look up her record, her biggest weakness is her defensive grappling, from takedown defense to defending submissions. So that's something she's really going to have to watch out for in this fight. Now, Saw's keys to victory. She's going to need to keep Arai on the end of her punches. Arai is very aggressive and goes for the takedown. She needs to keep Arai right on the end of her punches. Use her height. Use her length. She's a very lengthy fighter, is Saw. So she needs to keep her opponent on the end of her punches to keep that distance going. She's also going to need to work on her sprawl. Now, she actually has a decent sprawl, but if she doesn't, but if she lets her hips get taken in, or she doesn't keep her hips down, or if she lets her leg get taken in, then she tends to give up the takedown from there and go to guard. She's going to need to really bring her sprawl and also her clinch takedown defense in this fight. And then finally, if all else fails, beat Arai to the takedown. She can't take you down if you take her down first. So if she's going to try to take you down, go for the takedown yourself and win the points there. So, I mean, Arai is going to be trying to wrestle her to the ground. So I think Ji-Yeon, if she can't keep her on the end of her punches, might as well go for the takedown yourself and beat her at her own game there. All right, so that was Ji-Yeon. Now, let's look at the visiting fighter, Mika Arai. So Arai's strengths. She is very aggressive. I've seen 3 of her 5 fights, and she comes out aggressive in all of them, looking immediately for the takedown, which leads me into her next strength. She has very strong takedowns of her own. She can shoot traditional wrestling takedowns. She can take you down from in the clinch. She can pick you up and bring you down. Very strong takedowns. And then when she gets you onto the ground, she hunts for submissions. If she can get past your guard, she's going to be hunting for submissions. She's a fighter who likes to go for the finish. She's not content to just sit and guard. I mean, unless you have a strong close guard on her, she's going to be trying to pass and look for those submissions. Now, Arai's weakness that I've noticed is that she gets stymied against any grappler that can either take her down first or anyone that can get her into trouble on the ground herself. Her biggest weakness is other strong grapplers. She tends to get a little bit frustrated if she's not the one on the attack. And then finally, Mika Arai's keys to victory. If I were her, I wouldn't waste any time on the feet. I'd go for the takedown ASAP, which tends to be what she does anyway. So go for that takedown and get it as soon as possible. When she gets there, she needs to work on a ground and pound to get past Saw's guard. So get the takedown ASAP, ground and pound to pass guard, and then if I were Arai, I would look to take Saw's back. Her two most recent losses have come by rear naked choke. If you can get her if she can get to Saw's back, get the hooks in, stretch her out, and go for that rear naked choke. That is both of Ji-Yeon Saw's last two losses. All right, so that's both fighters broken down. Now, you're probably wondering, this fight is kind of off the map a little bit, so why do a preview on this one? Well, first, I feel like as an independent content creator, part of my duty is to, inform the audience of other fights that are going on that aren't, Bellator, UFC, of course, Ryzen, whatever. It's my job to let you know that there are fights going on outside the big promotions. And then second of all, this is a fun one for me. This is one that I'm mostly interested in. I've followed Saw's career from the beginning. Watched a couple of Mika Arai's fights even before I had to study the film. So this is a fun one for me, and got to keep myself entertained while I'm doing this. Otherwise, why am I doing it, right? All right, so time for my prediction. I think this is a very excuse me, bad stylistic matchup for Ji-Yeon Saw. Her biggest weakness so far has been grapplers and wrestlers who are stronger than her. And Mika Arai is a very strong grappler. Now, one advantage that Saw could possibly have is that she's coming down from 115, whereas Arai has been fighting at atom weight. I don't know if there's going to be that big of a size difference. Saw doesn't look big at all at straw weight. So we'll have to see come fight time. But as far as my pick goes, I got to pick against the fighter that I prefer. Got to show, that I can go past bias here. And I got to pick Mika Arai for the win, possibly by submission. I just think that her biggest strengths are Saw's biggest weaknesses. And if Saw can't keep her on the end of her punches, then Mika Arai is going to get that takedown. And she's going to hunt for the back because the fights are on YouTube, so if you can, excuse me, if you can watch Saw's last 2-3 fights, then she's going to know that she has that weak rear naked choke defense. So unless Saw really worked on that, and hopefully she has, I'm going with Mika Arai by this one. All right, so that's my preview for this fight. I'm looking forward to it. Probably not going to get to watch it live, but I think Double G does upload their fights fairly fast, so I'm going to try to get a review done on it too. Because if I do a preview, I try to get a review on it as well. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Likes are always appreciated, of course. And hey, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to WMMA Scene Now, the best, fastest growing women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. And hit that bell for notifications. And we'll see you next time.